I'm 80 years old, and if you're in your 50s, I need you to stop scrolling. Just sit with me for a second, because you might not hear this again. This is not just another video. This is the kind of message that usually comes too late, the kind someone whispers at your bedside when you can't rewind anymore. So listen to me carefully. Watch this before you die. I mean it. You might not know it yet, but you could die next week, next month, next year. You think you're just watching a video, but this might be your last warning. Because for me, it's already late. Too many things I can't redo. Too many people I didn't hug long enough. Too many days I rushed through like I had forever. When I was in my 50s, I was always in a hurry. Hurry to fix. Hurry to impress. Hurry to survive. But here's what no one told me. Most of the things you're sprinting toward won't even matter when you're 80. The kids you're working so hard for, they grow up while you're staring at screens, the love of your life. They eat alone while you send one more email. Your own body, it starts whispering, but you're too busy to hear. I don't remember the deadlines I met. I remember the dinners I missed, the conversations I cut short, the Sunday mornings I rushed past, like they were nothing. So if you're hearing this, let it pierce you. Slow down. Not next year, not when you retire. Now. Because one day you'll wake up and realize you were always just a little too busy to really live. Ask yourself tonight, what are you rushing through that actually deserves more of you? You still have time, I don't, but you do. So don't waste it. You know what they don't tell you about aging? Your body doesn't fall apart overnight. It whispers, softly, for years. At 50, I thought a little stiffness in the morning was normal, a little heartburn, a little joint pain, a little fatigue. But those were warnings, not inconveniences. Your knees creak when you get out of the car. That's not just age. That's your body begging for better movement. That gut issue you keep ignoring? That's inflammation whispering before it turns into disease. I lost a friend at 63. He brushed off chest pain as just stress. Another waited too long to address blood sugar. Now he lives with a cane and dialysis. The sad truth? We wait until our bodies scream, and by then, it's often too late. So here's your second lesson. Start treating your body like someone you're going to need for the next 40 years. Because you just might. Get the screenings. Stretch every day. Walk like your life depends on it, because it does. Take care of your body now, and it will take care of you at 70, 80, even 90. I was 52 when I realized I didn't want to live the rest of my life doing what I was doing. I was tired, burned out. The job didn't inspire me anymore. The marriage felt distant. My routines were choking me, and I thought, maybe it's too late to change. Maybe this is just what getting older feels like. But I was wrong. Let me tell you something important. Your 50s are not the end. They are in their second adolescence, a time to question, to shift, to rebuild. If you've been living for others, if you've been playing it safe, if you've been hiding behind responsibility, this is your wake-up call. You still have time to go back to school, start the business, move to a new city, fall in love again with someone new or the person you married 30 years ago. You still have time to write that book, to learn the guitar, to discover you're more than just your career. And here's the thing most people don't realize. The courage to reinvent isn't just for the young. It's for the brave. I met a man who learned photography at 56. He's 78 now, and his work hangs in galleries. I met a woman who divorced her toxic husband at 60. She now teaches yoga in Costa Rica and laughs louder than anyone I know. Don't trap yourself in a life you've outgrown. If your soul feels restless, that's not a crisis. It's a compass. Lesson 3. You are not too old. You're right on time, if you're willing to believe it. When I was younger, I thought success meant titles, money, and recognition. I chased promotions, I worked late, I traveled for business and missed birthdays, dinners, quiet moments. And for a while, it felt worth it. Until I looked around one day, and the house was quiet. The phone didn't ring like it used to. Old friends had drifted. My children were grown, and a little distant. Not because they didn't love me, but because I hadn't been fully present. Let me be very honest with you. The trophies fade. The bank account will not hold your hand when you're sick. But the people you love, the ones you laugh with, cry with, grow with, they are the real wealth. Success is hollow if you have no one to share it with. In your 50s, relationships take effort. Friends move away. Parents grow older. Your kids get busy with their own lives. But that's exactly when you must lean in. Call the old friend. Send the message you've been meaning to send. Say, I'm sorry, even if it's awkward. Say, I love you while you still can. Make time. Prioritize presence over perfection. Here's the fourth lesson. At 80, your proudest moments won't be career milestones. They'll be the people who stood by you and the ones you showed up for. Don't wait for retirement. Don't wait for a crisis. Pick up the phone today. Here's something that took me decades to learn. You will never have peace if you're trying to control everything and everyone. In my 50s, I spent far too much energy trying to fix people, trying to change them, trying to convince them to be better, do better, live differently, my way. And guess what? It never worked. What it did do was drain me, made me angry, made me anxious, made me bitter when people didn't respond the way I wanted. Here's the truth you need to hear now. You are not responsible for someone else's growth. Not your partner, not your siblings, not even your grown children. You can love them, you can support them, you can pray for them, but you cannot carry their choices. Some people will not change, some will hurt you repeatedly, some will leave your life and never explain why, and it's not your job to chase closure. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you start healing. So lesson 5 is this. Free yourself from the weight of what you cannot fix, especially when it comes to people. You deserve peace, you deserve to breathe without guilt, and you are allowed to walk away from things that break you, even if you love them. There's a quiet superpower you begin to understand with age. The power of protecting your energy. In my 50s, I used to say yes to everything. Yes to the invitations I didn't want. Yes to the phone calls that drained me. Yes to the people who only came around when they needed something. And slowly, without even realizing it, I was giving away my peace to people who didn't value it. It took me years to understand this truth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Just because someone's been around a long time doesn't mean they've earned the right to stay. Just because someone is family doesn't mean they get unlimited access to your mind, your time, or your spirit. You are allowed to have boundaries. You are allowed to say no without explanation. You are allowed to distance yourself from people who leave you feeling small, anxious, or drained. At 80, my circle is smaller and much more peaceful. It's filled with people who respect my time, honor my values, and don't make me second-guess my worth. So here's your 6th lesson. Be careful who you let into your energy field. It's sacred, it's limited, and it determines the quality of your peace. Less drama, less noise, more peace. You know what I wish someone had told me in my 50s? You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. I used to treat time like it was endless. I traded it for paychecks, for things I didn't need, for meetings I didn't enjoy, for people who didn't matter. And now, at 80, I realize something sobering. The richest people aren't the ones with the biggest houses. They're the ones who spend their time on what matters most. A 2-hour dinner with someone you love, that's wealth. Reading a book under the sun with no phone in sight, that's wealth. Laughing so hard your stomach hurts, priceless. The clock doesn't slow down. And eventually, it runs out, not just for you, but for the people you love. So stop wasting time on things that don't fill you. Stop delaying joy until retirement. Stop saying, one day. Lesson 7 is simple but powerful. Spend your time like it's gold, because it is. Guard it, use it with intention, and stop giving chunks of your life away to things that don't grow you. You don't get refunds on time, use it wisely. One morning, when I was about 58, I looked in the mirror, and I didn't quite recognize the person staring back. The skin wasn't as firm, the eyes looked a little more tired, the jawline had softened, the hair had grayed, and for a moment, just a moment, I felt invisible. But here's what I learned, and I need you to hear this loud and clear. You are not your wrinkles, you are not your weight, you are not your reflection. Your spirit, your essence, is what people feel when you walk into a room. It's your warmth, your presence, your humor, your kindness, and none of that ages. Some of the most beautiful people I've ever met had lines on their faces and silver in their hair, but joy in their laugh and depth in their eyes. Don't let this youth-obsessed world tell you that beauty ends at 40, or 50, or 60. True beauty evolves, it deepens, it becomes more real. Take care of your body, yes, but take even better care of your soul. Feed your mind, forgive yourself, light up from within, because no cream, no surgery, no mirror can reflect what a glowing spirit radiates. So lesson 8 is this: look less in the mirror and more in the direction of who you're becoming inside, because that's what lives on, long after the reflection fades. Most people think joy just happens, that it's something you stumble into when everything goes right. But let me tell you, at 80, I've learned something powerful. Joy isn't accidental. It's a skill, a discipline, a choice. And like any skill, you get better at it the more you practice. In my 50s, I thought joy would come when the bills were paid, when the house was in order, when the stress disappeared. But there was always something, always one more thing to fix, solve, manage, control. One day, I saw a man with barely anything laugh harder than I'd heard in years. He had very little, but he noticed everything. The smell of the rain, the sound of his granddaughter's giggle, the way the sunlight hit the window in the morning. That's when it hit me. Joy doesn't come from having more. It comes from noticing more. From waking up and choosing to find something beautiful, no matter what the day holds. So start small, drink your coffee slowly, notice the way your dog looks at you, dance in the kitchen, say thank you, even for the hard stuff. Lesson 9 is this: joy isn't waiting for you in the distance. It's hiding in your daily life, if you're willing to look for it. Don't let your best laughs be behind you. Make joy your daily habit. At 80, I find myself thinking less about what I've done and more about what I'm leaving behind. Not the money, not the house, not the list of achievements, but the pin imprint, the invisible trail of who I was to others. When you're in your 50s, it's easy to focus on the doing, the next promotion, the savings goal, the retirement plan, and while all those things matter, they're not your legacy. Your legacy is in the words you spoke when no one was watching. It's in how you made people feel. It's in the child who remembers how safe you made them feel, the neighbor who felt seen because of your kindness, the friend who says, "I don't know how I would have made it without you." Legacy is built in whispers, in quiet moments, and sometimes in the things you never even realized you did. Don't wait until you're old to think about how you'll be remembered. You're writing that story every day. Lesson 10 is this: live in a way that echoes, not just through time, but through hearts. Be the reason someone believes in good people again. That is legacy. There's something quiet that follows many people into their later years: regret. Not always the big dramatic kind, but the little moments, the words you wish you'd said or taken back, the time you didn't make, The anger you held too long, the love you didn't show well enough? And if you're in your 50s, I want to stop you right here before you carry those weights another decade. Forgive yourself, truly, not just in passing thoughts, but deep in your soul. You did the best you could with what you knew, who you were, and what you had at the time. Could you have done better? Maybe, but hindsight is a sharp tool, and it always arrives too late. There are things I wish I'd handled differently, people I wish I'd held closer, opportunities I wish I hadn't been afraid of, but I've learned that punishment doesn't heal. Only compassion does. So I say this to you as an old friend. Let it go. Apologize if you must. Make peace where you can. But above all, forgive the version of you that didn't know better. Lesson 11 is this. You don't have to be perfect to deserve peace. You just have to be human and honest enough to begin again. Start forgiving yourself now. You still have time to walk lighter. If you're hearing my voice right now, then that means something very important. You're still here. And that alone, that breath in your lungs that beat in your chest, is reason enough to live like it all still matters. Because it does. You are not too old to start something new. You are not too late to make someone's day brighter. You are not too broken to heal, and you are not too far gone to matter. I've seen people find love at 70. I've seen people write their first book at 65. I've seen people rebuild bridges they thought were burned decades ago. Don't shrink yourself because of a number. Don't dim your joy because the world worships youth. Don't disappear into the background just because society doesn't understand the power of aging. You are the story. You are the proof. You are the wisdom the world desperately needs. Lesson 12. The final lesson. Live like it still matters, because it does, and because someone out there is watching how you rise, how you keep going, how you still smile, even now. And maybe, just maybe, your courage will be the reason they don't give up. So keep living, loudly, kindly, bravely, because you're still here, and that means your story isn't over yet.